for a unique masculine card? Today we're going to work with a unique die set that will give you that wow factor. And if you like puzzles, you're going to love this. Hi, I'm Georgia with Creative Moments by G. Let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. Today we are going to make a card just like this. We're actually making two cards, but the first one has the hexagon cut out of the front, and then you open it up and we have a little tab there that has the hexagon on it. So cute. Now here is the die set that we're going to be working with. It has all these hexagons with it, so you can decide on any size that you want. It also has circles and other shapes that you can use to create that really unique masculine card. So we're going to go ahead and pull out these two hexagons because this is going to be our opening, but we need to create a frame, and so we're going to need the bigger one as well. So let's just put that to the side. The first card that we're going to create, you're going to need to create a landscape card, and this size is 11 by 4 1/4, and you score it at 5 1/2. And I want to remind you that all our measurements will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com, so you can head over to my blog and just pick up all those measurements. You will also need a sentiment mat for the inside of your card. And this is simply 7 1/4 by 4, and then we're going to score it at 2. Now what we have done to give the inside mat just some texture is we went ahead and we pulled one of our embossing folders and we simply embossed this flap right here. But let's go ahead and design the front of our card. Now we pulled out this beautiful patterned paper. We love these colors, very masculine colors. And so I think this will really help create the perfect masculine card. So we cut this mat 4 by 5 1/4. So let's go ahead and lay this down on the front of our base card. And now because this is a landscape card, we are going to select the inside hexagon. That will be our window, and we're going to bring it out just a little bit right here, and we're just going to center it right in the middle, but on the right hand side. So let's go ahead and run that through our embossing machine to get that cut out. Now here we have our die with the area cut out. So let's just go ahead and peel that off. And you'll want to make sure and keep this because you can use this in another card, right? Now we have the front of our card, but this really just blends in very nicely to the card. So we need a frame for that. Now here's our first tip. To create the frame, we have our two sizes of hexagons. Now I would really recommend that you get them positioned exactly where you want them, because you really have to play with them just a little bit. And then you're going to take your repositional tape, and we use this wonderful purple tape, and this highlighter tape works just perfectly. And if you're interested in that, check below the video under my favorites and you'll have a link that you can buy this on Amazon. But go ahead and just get this taped on both sides, and then you have the exact frame. If you try to position this on your plate to put through the embossing machine, it really does wiggle, and you're not going to get this nice, evenly spaced frame. So make sure that you do this, and if I were you, I would go ahead and cut out several colors. Just in case you decide maybe you wanted early espresso as a frame or you wanted pumpkin pie as a frame, go ahead and cut out several because you can always use them for all the cards that you're going to make. So let's just put this to the side. Now we went ahead and we cut out a pumpkin pie frame. Look at that. I think that really makes it pop. So let's go ahead and just get that added. Now I'm going to use my Nuvo pen And I'm going to put down my silicone mat so that if I get any glue on anything, I know that on my silicone mat, you can just rub it off. So let's make sure that we have this turned the right way, and let's just use that Nuvo pen and add some glue all the way around. And now we're simply going to add that to the front of our card. Look at that. This is for all the men and young men that you have out there that have birthdays in the fall, right? These colors are just perfect for that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our inside mat. Just take some glue, add that to the back. And I really like the texture on this flap. It really makes it 3D to where it kind of stands out and it doesn't just blend into the rest of the mat. So now you need to take and cut out some hexagons, whatever color coordinates with your card. Now we think that this color really adds something to our card, so we went ahead and selected it. This color is simply crumb cake. Now we're going to go ahead and stamp this in black. So I'm going to bring in that paper again, and I'm going to get our Memento Black. We are going to stamp to a happy future ahead. And then on the inside of the card, we'll put happy birthday. Look at that. Love that sentiment, and I love the fonts. I think that is so pretty. Now, to make sure that we get it in exactly the right place, we're going to put glue on the right-hand side, and then we'll just hold it down and place it right in that opening, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We want the glue right here on the right-hand side. Now this is a very easy masculine card, but it's unique because of the hexagons that you can play with and really make so many designs. Now make sure that you stay with us because I have some additional cards to show you using these hexagons that I think you're really going to like. Now hold that and just lift it up. Make sure it's straight. You might have to wiggle it just a little bit to get it straight. And there we have it. Now I'm going to simply stamp happy birthday right down here in the bottom. And you won't see it because it'll be stamped down here. And there we have our first card. We love this hexagon. There is so much that you can do with it. You can add so much more, but for our purposes, we like this easy, quick card that actually you can turn into anything, but we're focusing on unique masculine cards today. So let's put that to the side and let's go ahead and start on our second card. Now our second card is going to have several mats on the front, and then we are going to place our hexagons on dimensionals and kind of create an abstract card that really is almost like a work of art. So the first thing we can do is let's go ahead and just add this mat to the card. Now, this is your regular base card, except it is a top fold card. So we have 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. Now, this is going to go on the front, and it's going to be our second mat. But what we want to do is we want to blend these corners just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a dauber, and let's take some espresso, early espresso, and let's just ever so lightly give a hint of color. Now, let me tell you, you need to be light-handed. You need to start off the paper and barely just rub onto the paper, because we don't want much color. We just want a hint of color. And just go around in circles. And if you start seeing a lot of circles on your paper, you know that you're really too heavy-handed. So just back off a little bit. Start off the card, off the mat, and just barely go in. Okay, just kind of a hint of the color. So let's go ahead and put that up. And now what we did is we simply took our hexagons and we decided what DSP, what pattern paper we were going to use. We just cut all kinds of patterns. And so I would recommend that you do that. Just take your hexagons and cut all kinds of patterned paper. And then you can just lay them out and you can decide exactly which ones fit your color palette, right? Well, we know this is ours and we know that we need, we're going to put a message right here. So we cut out these beautiful colors. Now, we are also going to have another mat right here, and we are going to do this fantastic tip with our embossing folder. It's going to go right here. So we are taking, because we have some birds, we want this to be the wooded embossing folder, and this is called the pine wood plank. So what we're doing is we're simply taking the top of it and we are going to rake it. So this is a great tip. Push in your stamp set and then flip it over, because if you rake it this way, it's going to come out. So go ahead and push it in, flip it over, and now we are simply going to rake across it. So watch this. Just rake it. And you can get it as dark or as light as you want. Just going to flip it over. Going to rake it some more. Okay, and now I'm going to place this exactly where I want it. So I think I want it, I see a bunch of texture right here. So I'm going to just place it down right there, hold it, and now I'm going to run it through the embossing machine. Okay, let's go ahead and have the big reveal. Oh my goodness, look at that. Is that beautiful? Perfect for a masculine card. So all you have to do to clean this up is just take it to your sink and run it under some water and all that will come off. So you don't have to worry about inking up your embossing folders. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and lay this down on the top of our card. Now look at that. Those colors, crumb cake, early espresso, and then we embossed. Oh, we just love this embossing folder. Before we lay this down, we are going to place our hexagons on it because we have to cut off the edge right here. So let's go ahead and get them placed exactly where we want. Now remember, we are going to set them up on dimensionals. So I would highly recommend you using some repositional tape, and here is removable tape, and it's wonderful to use. And that way you can get this exactly where you want it. But I already have an idea of exactly where I want to place them. So this is where our sentiment is going to go. And I brought in some Night of Navy because we have some blues in here that we're going to use. Now we have this one, which is the wooded DSP. We're also going to bring in some birds. Now, if you have directional DSP, you want to make sure that you have it cut exactly the way you need it so that the birds are going straight or whatever image you have. And now we're simply going to put this one right in the middle. And then we're just going to have a little teeny one right over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these on dimensionals, and I'm going to put a good amount of dimensionals so that they hold their shape when they go through the mail. So this one, we know we want it about right here. Okay, and now I'm going to put this one right above it. So let's get those dimensionals on there, right at the points. And this one's simply going to be lined up with this straight edge right here. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the birds. We're going to add this one right in the center right here. And we're going to have just a small one right here. Just be a little piece of it. Now this one we're going to stamp our message, so let's put it over to the side, and let's go ahead and bring in our scissors and get these cut off to match the dimensions of the mat. So we're simply going to turn this over and cut off those edges. And what's so great about this is you can pick any design you want. Let's go ahead and stamp our message right here. And we are using the same stamp as before, to a happy future ahead. And we will be using Night of Navy. And let's add that on some dimensionals as well, just to give it that added height. And now we can add this to the front of our card. Look at that work of art, right? Now, when you're working with 3D folders like this, you want to make sure and really get enough glue on there to press it down onto the card. You can always bring in your bone folder and very lightly press. And this is a good tip. If you have to get in some really tight places, use your bone folder to get in for you and just really press it down. And so now we just need to bring in our mat for the inside. And we are going to stamp Happy Birthday, so let's do that first. And we'll use our Night of Navy again. So let's look at our unique masculine cards. Love this one. I love adding dimensionals to the hexagons. I think it really just makes the card pop. Here's the one that we made at the first, and this fold is really a nice fold. You can put so many messages under there. Now we have this card. We went ahead and we just did several different hexagons in all kinds of DSP, but colors that would coordinate with our cinnamon, early espresso, and our very vanilla cardstock. We went ahead and we used that technique that we showed you about raking the ink over your embossing folder and then running it through your embossing machine. Really gives it that added depth. We also did this one. Once again, we just went crazy with those hexagons. We used our smaller dies to cut out those unique hexagons that could be placed in any way that you wanted. Now, To do this design, we went ahead and we used that removable tape so that we could get our design just the way we wanted it, and then we came back in with some glue. And then finally we have this portrait one of the landscape that we made. We love this unique die set. It creates such a fantastic masculine card that you can use for any occasion. We hope you enjoyed our tutorial today, creating unique masculine cards. We want you to go out and make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.